So I'm back. And so I want to prophesy to you of things to come so that you don't be shaken when they come. Okay? In a very short time, the systems will crash. And they will crash because they need to crash, because the foxes have ruined the vineyard. And the way that the foxes have ruined the vineyard, it's they've run around and made you think things that weren't true. They've taken away your responsibility to one another. You see James 1:27, where God tells you that his true and perfect form of religion is to take care of widows and orphans in your affliction. You know, where you defer that responsibility onto a system, and you stop caring because you put your faith in a system to take care of those who can't take care of themselves, and God is going to bring that to an end. He's going to bring that down and make you take care of one another. Not only that, it's going to be a hard time. A lot of people have been saying wealth transfer is coming. The great wealth transfer is coming. And that's the reason why the great wealth transfer is coming, is because when the systems crash, those who are so rich on their thrones, the kings in this world, the people of Matthew 8:11, who have rushed to take their seat with the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, while the true heirs to the kingdom have been cast down into the outer darkness with the weeping and the gnashing of teeth. When those kings are brought down, their power is their money. Their power is getting you to serve them because they have all this wealth. When wealth doesn't matter anymore, when wealth has no value, and they don't know how to take care of people, they just know how to trick you into taking care of them, and giving you all giving them all your power and authority. You see, when all that is crushed down, they'll have nobody and nothing, and they will be rushing to the poor man to say, help me. Those who are the true heirs of the kingdom, who are cast into the outer darkness, saying, show me how to live, because I don't know how to do this, and I don't have any power to get people to serve me anymore. This is what's going to happen in the great wealth transfer, and they're all praising the great wealth transfer that's coming, but they don't understand the violence that it's going to come through. They don't understand the hardship, and how people their hearts are going to fail them, and they'll pray for death to come, but death is not going to come, because as we cried out for mercy in the darkness, you heard not our pleas, and you continued to afflict us and made us look like we deserved to be afflicted. And so when the darkness falls on you, you will know that God is the one who sits on the throne, not you. God is the one who says whether life or death should happen, who should prosper. And we need to stop giving our authority and our power into things that don't serve us, that lead us into death, and it's going to be a very turbulent time. And those who have not, are those who have never had, and have learned to make it by binding together, and by taking care of one another. They've learned to make it through a life of service, and through that service they've earned their place in the kingdom. They've earned their place in leadership, because those are the ones who are going to be able to put things back together. You understand? And besides that, there's flooding coming. There's the East Coast will go first. It's going to be like ping, pang, poom. It's going to be all over the place, but it's going to be on the gates first. So you'll see things around the borders, and then it'll touch the middle, the hearts of things. And you'll know that the time is soon, because things will begin to be exposed. When the walls start falling down, the whitewashed walls that truly have no foundation, when they start coming down, things start coming out, like in the church, how all the sexual abuse and the slavery and the things, that the crimes of the church for the past centuries. were exposed. You know that they were losing their walls, and when you look at something and you see that their walls are falling down, you know that they're in soon. Okay, so the other thing that'll happen is that the things that you look to for protection, like the police, you'll be able to see them that they're not truly there for protection. They'll lose their esteem and their credibility, and you won't be able to trust them anymore. So those things will be coming down, and the things that you look for to feed you as you're hungry, you'll see that there's glitches in the system because they've switched over to a new system, but truly it's because the old system was crashing anyways, and they're trying to save themselves. But the system is booting you off things like welfare. They're booting you off the food stamps. You'll see that there's no funds for education and things like that. These bills in Congress that are supposed to be passed, this budget in the nation that's supposed to be passed, it's put on hold. And as you can see, they're already scrambling for any way to save themselves. They've made Jerusalem, the capital of Israel, in an effort to save themselves. But when I look at this, and I'm not preaching any kind of anti-Semitism, but I'm saying that they're trying to rush to the table with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Well, the true heirs are cast out, and they shouldn't be claiming to anything for Israel, because if Israel is truly the one who's going to be able to save the world, who has the to and through seed on them, then they wouldn't need that iron dome that they have above them. They wouldn't need to oppress anybody who opposed them. They wouldn't need to cut off resources, because that's what the devil does. He strips away all your resources. He strips away all your clothing, and he puts you on the corner butt naked and makes you beg for the crumbs, and makes you think that you're greedy for it not being enough, and you just it's not the way. That's not what's going to please God and save you. What's going to please God and save you is to take care of the widows and orphans in their affliction, who the bride of Christ and the children of God in their affliction, the ones that the world has cast out and thought that they had no value, because they were the ones who brought light into the dark places where darkness can no longer be the covering. And people who have learned to trust in the darkness could not stand to be in the presence, and so we're gonna see as things are falling, we're gonna see a great war come. We will see World War III, and it will be fires everywhere. I've seen the world burn. And if you have not connected into the source, you won't know which way to go. You'll look to your leader to protect you, and they won't know what way to go, because they're struggling and thinking that they can overcome by the might of their sword, by the power that we've entrusted into them. And it's not by might and not by power, but by the Spirit of God. So what we need to do is to realize that we've depleted our resources on the fuel that sustains us. And like a cell phone that's going dead, we need to take our charger and plug back into the source. And when we plug back into the source, and this is what they're prophesying, that the great glory that's coming, and the great glory that's coming comes because the people realize that they can't turn to their leaders anymore. They can't put their trust in their faith and their hope in them, because all they do is they make themselves look righteous by making it look like they have an enemy, and that you need protection, and like they're the only ones that can save you, you know. And when you start to see, and you start to see what the true enemy is, what the power scheme is, you'll get down on your knees and you'll pray to God. God, show me your face and show me your grace, you know. Send your glory, release your power, tell me what to do or where to go, because these people I should not have trusted in the beginning. I don't want the king to rule over me. All I need is you. You know, the first king in Israel, it was God. And they gave that up. They gave up the blessing of having God to rule over them because they needed a man to speak into them instead of remaining tapped into the source, you know, fully charged at all times and knowing what to do and where to go, you know? And God is seeing that he can't let us go on like this anymore. You know, he's seen our cries, you know, he's heard our prayers, you know, and he's coming back to us. So when that glory comes, that glory is gonna cause people to run out in the streets, and they're gonna try to bring judgment on their neighbors and look and point the finger. You did it. This is your fault, and everything. You know, great judgment. People fighting in the streets and ripping each other apart. But really, what you need to do is not fight. You know, don't look. Judge not, lest you be judged. Right? That's what the Bible tells us. Um, but we need to get down on our knees and look up to God and just say, God, save us. God, have mercy on us. Because that's what Jesus said, that, you know, the one who cried out for mercy, he's better off than the one who tried to, you know, sacrifice things, you know. And so we need to start beginning to call for mercy, because if we stand there and point the finger and try to look righteous, we're standing in our own righteousness, and that's darkness. There's no light there, you know, there's no covering there, there's no safety there. But if we look up unto God, from which comes our help, you know, then we know that we'll be okay, because the one who created us is surrounding us and protecting us, and no matter what goes on around us, we're good, you know. Um, when will this happen? You know, what did Jesus say? He told you, Matthew 24, when it will happen, you know, when the love of many wax cold, you know, when we've all deferred our responsibility for care for the stranger, care for the orphan, care for the widow, onto somebody else, when we've deferred our responsibility for care and love for our children onto somebody else. You know, we send them to school every day, and it's great for their growth, you know, but where is our responsibility? Our responsibility has waxed cold, and we think that love is just providing them with, you know, some kind of joy, some kind of entertainment, but love is, you know, love is so much more than that. It's making sure that they're covered and protected, and they're fed, and they have all their needs met, and created in his image to be a reflection. So what you are for your children, your father is for you. And you can only do for them what you've seen him do for you. So you have to understand, and make a choice in who you want to reflect, whether you want to reflect the adversary who wants to point fingers and constantly defer responsibilities, whether you want to reflect the Father and say, you know, enough is enough, and just go back to the way that we were supposed to be when we were in the garden. Everything was free, but we didn't eat from this one tree with the knowledge of good and evil, because if we eat from that tree, then we're like God instead of reflecting God, and we make ourselves substitute for God. And it's time to go back to that place where we do what we were created to do. It's time to go back to that place where we worship God. You know, that's all I got.